Okay, let's dive right into this. If you've ever looked at a massive vocabulary list and just felt completely overwhelmed, well, don't panic. Today, our goal in this explainer is to unlock Spanish numbers all the way up to 100, and we're going to do it using a super simple logical building block pattern that's pulled straight from page 12 of our student book. I mean, you almost certainly know the absolute basics, right? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. It's practically universal knowledge at this point. But what happens when you need to count fire? Like when you actually need to talk about your age, or buy something at the market, or maybe give a taxi driver your address? A lot of learners just hit a brick wall right around 20. So I'm going to challenge you right now. I bet that by the end of this short explainer, you'll comfortably be able to reach 100. And the best part? You absolutely do not need to memorize 80 random, isolated words. No way. That would be incredibly inefficient. Instead, we're going to learn just a handful of simple anchor words and one, frankly, amazing secret formula that'll do all the heavy lifting for us. So take a look at this. Notice how visually repetitive this is? These are our anchor words, the decades. We've got 30, which is treinta, 40 is cuarenta, 50, cincuenta, 60, sesenta, 70, setenta, 80, ochenta, and 90 is noventa. Do you see the pattern here? It's like a code. Almost every single one of these words ends with the exact same sound, enta. It's basically the Spanish equivalent of the English T, like in 40 or 60. So your very first job is just to lock in these core anchor words. Actually say them out loud right now wherever you are, just to get that enta rhythm stuck in your head. Treinta, cuarenta, cincuenta, sesenta, setenta, ochenta, noventa. Okay, got them? Because once you have these 7 words down, you literally possess the foundation for the vast majority of the numbers we're covering today. Now for the really crucial part, how we actually build the numbers in between those decades. Here is the secret formula for compound numbers from 30 all the way up to 99. It's essentially just a 3-step equation. Step 1, grab your decade. Let's use 30, or treinta. Step 2, add the connector E, which is just the letter Y, pronounced like E, and it literally just means and in Spanish. Step 3, tack on the single-digit unit you already know, like uno for 1. You put it all together and boom, you get treinta y uno. Literally, you're saying 30 and 1. And that's it. That is the entire system for the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. You just say the 10, say and say the 1. Cuarenta y dos, cincuenta y tres. It's incredibly elegant, and honestly, it's completely predictable. Okay, let's see how this builds in real time with some rapid-fire practice. Over on page 12 of the student book, there's this really fantastic exercise where we solve math equations and write out the answers in Spanish. Let's borrow a few of those to test this out. First up, 19 plus 16. The answer is 35. So how do we build that using our new formula? I'll give you a second. Okay, decade, treinta. Connector, E. Unit, cinco. Treinta y cinco. Perfect. Let's do the next equation from the text. 68 plus 9. The answer is 77. How do we build that one? Setenta y siete. Excellent. Let's hit one more. 0 plus 86. Obviously, 86. Construct it in your head. Ochentases. See how empowering this is? Just by knowing the decades, the word E, and the digits 1 through 9, you've just unlocked dozens and dozens of numbers. But wait a second. You might have noticed a tiny little gap in our timeline there. We started our magic formula at 30. Why? Well, because while our beautiful, logical formula works absolutely flawlessly from 30 all the way up to 99, the 20s decided they wanted to be just a little bit different. I mean, every good rule needs an exception, right? The 20s have this unique, kind of fun quirk that breaks the standard pattern we just learned. Don't worry, it's nothing too difficult, but it's absolutely vital to spot the difference so you sound perfectly natural and fluent when you speak. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens in the 20s. So the number 20 on its own is veinte. Now, if we strictly followed our old rule, 21 would be veinte y uno. But try saying that really fast a few times. Veintiuno, veintiuno. It's kind of clunky, isn't it? Well, over time, native speakers naturally just blended these words together to speak faster. So the new rule for the 20s is basically a merger. You take veinte, you drop that final E, you swap in an I to connect them, and you just smush the unit right onto the end, creating one single word. So 21 becomes veintiuno. It is no longer 3 separate words, it's just one smooth compound word. Let's actually apply this 20s rule to another practical math problem from the book. We have a basic addition problem here. 20 plus 5 equals 25. Now, translating that logic into Spanish, we start with 20 plus cinco. Remember our merging rule? We drop the E on 20, add the I, and attach the cinco. It instantly becomes 25, all one word. And this pattern holds absolutely true for the entire decade. 22, 23, 24, and the whole shebang. It's a slightly different formula, yeah, but once you realize it's really just about making the pronunciation smoother and faster, it makes total sense. So think about what you've just done. You've conquered the unique, quirky 20s. You've totally mastered that incredibly reliable formula from the 30s all the way to the 90s. And that brings us to the grand finale of this explainer, the big one, 100. In Spanish, a clean, flat 100 is simply cien. C-I-E-N, cien. I really want to pause and emphatically land on this number for a second, because if you followed along with the logic today, you haven't just memorized a few scattered vocabulary words. You have literally navigated the entire landscape of two-digit Spanish numbers. You can now confidently express exactly how old your grandparents are, or how much a sweater costs, or even solve double-digit math problems in a completely foreign language. I mean, that is a massive leap in comprehension. But before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a bit of a cliffhanger. In the math practice section of the student book, there is this one equation that deliberately pushes the boundaries. It asks 90 plus 15. The answer, obviously, is 105. But wait, we literally just learned that 100 is cien. So how on earth do we say 105? Does cien stay the exact same? Do we bring back that E connector? Does the whole thing merge into one giant word? Well, I'm going to leave you pondering that provocative little question. You've completely nailed the formula for the tens, but the hundreds? They have a magic entirely of their own. Keep practicing those decades, and we'll see you next time to unlock the rest of the numbers.